What do you assume is the most commonly used language in the world? Well, I think it's miscommunications. Greetings, my name is Karen Jacobs, and let's dig deeper on how the language that connects us every day might also be the very thing that destroys the course of human without us realizing. But wait, did you just catch that? Did I just say the most commonly used language in the world is miscommunications? First, let's understand the reason why we need to communicate. According to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, communication is the process by which information is exchanged between individuals through a common system of symbols, signs, or behavior. And right now, what I'm doing here is exchanging my thoughts to all of you. We can exchange our thoughts in real life events, and we can also do that online. But that only answers how and not why. As you hear me talking, what do you assume is my true intention? If you all assume that I'm just a girl yapping your ears off with my speech, and not as a girl that is raising awareness, would that affect the value of my speech? Even though the words don't change, the value that you have set in your mind will. And it's funny because these assumptions can lead to miscommunications. We could all be hearing the same words, but we could digest them differently from one another. A psychological theory by Fritz Heider, Harold Kelly, and Bernard Weiner might help us shed light on this topic. And it's called the attribution theory, which focuses on the individual's perception of the cause of events and behaviors. For example, the reason behind our miscommunications can be determined by factors such as internality, stability, hunterability, and global factors. It's because these circumstances affect our mood, which thus can alter the way we receive information. Now, imagine if our country's representatives let their circumstances alter the way they speak, think, and influence the country. If they were to be steered by their circumstances that could lead them to having a bad mood, what would happen to our country? War, poverty, riots, inflation, and much more could happen to our world if our leaders let their circumstances invade their rational minds. Of course, other factors could lead to these unfortunate results, but the key note is that we need to communicate with one another. We cannot let our circumstances dictate our reaction. If we do, then the dream of connecting each other's culture from around the world would be impossible. The earth is filled with 7,000 languages, and yet the most fluent language that we speak is miscommunication. As humans, we rely on the connection that we have with one another. We are not designed to be alone. We need each other's idea to build our world and to build our culture. Our culture should be beneficial and good for all. But how can we do that if we can't understand one another? Culture can be seen only through its people. So if we only produce bad fruits, then our culture will reflect that as well. The thing is, culture stays as long as we stay. So we could be seeing generations being raised in this bad culture. And we don't want that, do we? We want to move forward, rise up, and leave behind the bad soil. Our most fluent language should not be miscommunication. It should be connection. I hope this speech can remind us that our language is a power, and it is a very powerful power that can destroy and connect us. Thank you.